Just 16 ounces in an 8x3 bag that fits easily in the palm of your hand. The Klymit Static V2 sleeping pad. Let's take a look. What's up, everybody? On the review garage table today, we are taking a look at the Klymit Static V2 sleeping pad. And in today's video, I'll be giving you my full review, likes, dislikes, as well as getting this sleeping pad out and doing a little demonstration of it in action. So we'll kind of start here with a real basic overview on some of your standard specs. The fully inflated pad length is going to be 72 inches. Your width is going to be 23 inches with a 2.5 inch thickness. And of course, you're packed in an 8x3 size here. Weight is going to be just a little over 16 ounces. And the Static V2 will inflate in around 10 to 15 breaths, which we will demonstrate that here later in the video. And the Static V2 does have a 3-season rating, an R value of 1.3. So it's going to be great for warm weather, not so ideal for a cold ground, and it's definitely not a winter pad. So just a quick little overview on how I've used this Static V2. If you couldn't guess, I do live in Florida, and I have now used this Static V2 on 3 camping trips here. Again, I was looking for just a really simple, easy to use, lightweight, doesn't take up a lot of space pad that I could use pretty much around the year here in Florida. Wasn't really too concerned about, a cold weather pad. So the Static V2 kind of seemed like a really good fit for my purpose. So we'll go ahead and get right into some of my likes. Again, the first like is just going to be how lightweight this V2 is. Again, 16 ounces, maybe 17 ounces. So light. You can throw it anywhere, easy to carry, fits in any bag. That's going to really be, I think, like the big selling point on the V2 is just the weight, how light it is and how easy it is to, pack away and just toss anywhere. So another like for me is just how easy this pad inflates and deflates. Again, 10 to 15 breaths, you're good to go. Really easy to use valve. So that's folds up really easily as well. I've never had any trouble getting it back in the bag. That's a big thing for me because, I kind of seem to struggle getting things back in the bag. But this one, as you can tell, got it in there pretty easily. So getting it back in the bag is not an issue at all. So I really like the, the valve system on this to inflate and deflate. So let's go ahead and get the V2 out of the bag. We'll get it inflated and then kind of just go over a little more of my likes kind of in detail once we have the pad here on the table. All right, guys, just gonna do a quick little demonstration on blowing the Static V2 up. We'll test the 10 to 15 breaths theory. As I smack my head on a skateboard. So let's pop this out of the bag real quick. So here's our, move this out of the way so that gets broken. So here's our pad here. See, 73 inches. So let's see if we can get this done in 10 to 15 breaths. I think I usually get it in about 12. So let's see how this goes here. See if we can get 12. Again, on our valve here, and I'll do a close-up of this here once it's up, but you just have a little flip. You can flip to inflate and then flip to deflate. So you just twist this little knob there, push it in actually, and then you're good to go. So let's go ahead and see here. Let's see. Four. Eight. 10. We're already mostly inflated, but we'll do a little more here. That's 11, and we're good. So I'll just pop this in here, and that's it. The Static V2 is inflated. All right, so we're around here now. Here is the V2, Static V2 inflated. As you'll see, these nice little ridges here. Again, as a side sleeper, I find this really comfortable. This pattern, keeps pressure off my hip very well. So I can't quite, you know, kind of talk about how it is for belly and back sleepers, but this design does work really nice for a side sleeper. Now I do want to show you our valve here. So this is where you're going to be inflating and deflating. All you do is simply, so we're on, obviously we're inflated now, but you would just push this down and then it would instantly deflate when you're ready to deflate. So that's our little valve setup there. I have read some reviews of this leaking air potentially, and some people don't love this valve system. I can only talk to my experience with this. I've had no air leaking. Now again, I've only used it, I think around on 3 trips so far, but I love this valve and I've had no leaking whatsoever on the pad itself. And again, this is really easy, light, easy to move around. You know, it's going to be the kind of the theme with the Static V2 is just the lightweight, you know, the lightweight and how easy it is just kind of move, carry around, no problem there. Now, one slight negative for me, now I'm 6'2", I'm about 150 pounds, but this pad's actually, technically it's a little shorter than I am. That's not really a big deal. My feet hang over a little bit. I don't even notice that when I'm sleeping. But the one biggest con that I have found with the Static V2 is just the width. So it's 23 inches wide. Now as a side sleeper, I kind of like put my knees, I kind of tuck my knees up a little bit. So I'm kind of like pretty narrow on the pad. And I'm obviously a skinny person. So if you're a little bigger, a little thicker, you know, kind of maybe, you know, be kind of aware that the width, this is not a wide pad at all, 23 inches. So, you know, if you toss around a lot at night, you might want to opt for, they do have a wider version of this one. So you might want to opt for that one. But again, I mean, I had no issues, just, you know, putting a sleeping bag on top and just, you know, sleeping, you know, right on this pad. It is just a little bit narrow. And, you know, again, technically a little short for me, but I don't, you know, I don't notice that if my feet are a little off the pad at night. And again, this holds really well. Now again, I am only 150, maybe 155 pounds on a soaking wet day, but you know, it holds me up really well. These little V shapes, you know, they hold my hip up off the ground really nicely. Again, if you're, you know, over the 200, if you're over maybe the 200 pound range, I'm not sure how this might sink through the ground a little bit. But I can definitely vouch for, you know, my weight range and holds up really well. And I think that's about all I wanted to hit on. I'm going to just show you the backside just so you can see it. This is our backside. I think it's the exact same material. Yeah, it's the same material on the top and the bottom. So this is about it. You know, this is it. Inflated, good to go. Now if we want to deflate, again, all we do, we go to our little valve here. We push this in, and you can already hear it starts to deflate. You can twist that all the way around. Oops, kind of not showing that on camera very well. But yeah, just that's really it. And you'll see it's already, we can push it and it's just already deflating there. So again, really easy up and down, easy to pack as well. Again, it's one valve, don't need any portable, you know, little machines to inflate. This thing's really easy to just kind of grab and go. It's, you know, minimalist design for sure. But again, I like that a lot. I think that's one of the kind of the selling points of the Static V2. So let me go ahead and set this back up and we will do a little fold test to see if I can get it back in the bag in that 8x3 size. We'll see. All right, so we're deflated here. The real test though, can we get the Static V2 back in our 8x3 bag? Let's see. I've never had problem doing this before, but I've also never done it on camera before. So worst case, I get laughed at a little bit, and that's okay. Wouldn't be the first and won't be the last. So I have to fold it over once like that, then just fold it over again like this. And I apologize if I'm off the shot here a little bit. I will be back on the screen in a second. And we just start our roll here. We are rolling. Here we go. I can already tell it's not my best roll, but that's okay. We're doing this in one take, no matter what. There we go, we're rolling. Definitely not the best. Yeah, it's definitely not the best, but you know, that's how these things go. Question will be, can we still get it back in the bag? This will be a good test. If you're, you know, in a rush, getting out of the woods, can you get it in there even when it's a little sloppy like this? This will be a good test. Let's see. Go ahead and close this. Boom, as you can see, far from a clean roll, but let's take a look. All right, we're in there. Push it down. There we go. Look at that. Sloppy roll, but easily rolled up still. All right, we are all folded up and back on the table here. So as you can see, I think the big thing with the Static V2, the big takeaway, super easy to use. It's minimalist design, but so easy to use, easy up, easy down, packs in the bag really easily. You know, you don't have to like fight to get it perfect to fit in the bag. I think that's a huge plus. You know, when you're camping, you know, I have sleeping bags where I'm trying to, you know, stuff them in the bag. It's, you know, it can get a little stressful pretty quick. But this Static V2, easy up, easy down, easy in the bag, super lightweight, easy to toss around anywhere. So I think it's a really good bag, and again, really easy to see why it's such a good selling pad. The only thing you need to be a little bit aware of, again, if you toss and turn a lot at night, you might want to opt for one of the wider ones. They have a couple different models that are a little wider and longer, so you might want to opt for one of those. And again, I can't vouch as much for the back or stomach sleepers. Now, obviously, I did lay on this on my back, and it felt fine to me, as well as my stomach. But I'm a side sleeper, so that's kind of how I use this pack. So with that, the big question: does the Klymit Static V2 get the Review Garage sticker of approval? And for me, this is a really easy one. This is a resounding yes. The sticker's on the box. It's real. I really like this pad. Hopefully it holds up, you know, for years to come. That's one thing I can't quite speak of. Maybe I'll do a follow-up, you know, review in a year or two, and hopefully it's still holding up and I like it as much as I do now. But it feels durable, and it does feel like it'll last a long time. So I'm hopeful that, you know, I get a lot of use out of it, and, you know, love it for years to come. If anyone's interested in purchasing the Static V2, I will post a link in the description of this video. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It helps the channel a ton, helps me grow, helps me be able to keep making these types of reviews. And I do have a lot of kind of outdoor gear reviews on my channel, flashlights, you know, everyday carry bags, tools, coolers, you know, all that sorts of stuff. So if you're interested in that, again, please like and subscribe. And as always, be on the lookout for more reviews from the Review Garage.